Songwriting. Welcome to Songwriting 101, my songwriting, not course, songwriting series where I just talk about songs. The last song I did was a little bit chordy, not too chordy, but had some moments with quite a few chords going on. And I said that I was going to do one of these where I play basically 4 chords, which is going to be what I do in this particular episode. This is a song that is kind of like a little bit, I guess, probably folky. But the beauty of it, in my opinion, is in the lyrics, in the lyrical content. So when I'm writing a song, or when I've finished writing a song and I look at it and go, what did I do? What have I done? I'll go, what is good about this? Like, what's the point? And sometimes I'll be like, wow, this has a really great, interesting creative chord progression. That makes it valuable or interesting. Let's say interesting. Sometimes I'm like, this has some really great lyrics. That's what's interesting about it. If you look at like some maybe Bob Dylan songs, which are very repetitive musically and don't really do that much musically, but lyrically they're just like amazing. Or maybe Leonard Cohen as well. You know, there's a lot of words, not a lot of musical variation. Sometimes, not always. You'll go, okay, so the value or the interest in this song is in the lyrics, maybe even the melody. So that's what I do as if I'm going to take an audit. And sometimes, by the way, it's nice. You can even have songs where you go, I don't know, I just like it. That's perfectly fine too. We don't have to sit there and go, but why? But why? I don't know, I just like it. It's just rock and roll, but I like it. So in this song, there's not much going on with the chord progression. It goes like this. So the only variation I really use is I walk down to the E minor and then C, D, G. And then sometimes I walk down to the E minor and then go C, and then do an F sharp bass to the G. But that's still just D, but it's the bass note changes. So it would be like, or. So the difference is negligible. So it's basically the whole time. So how do we make that interesting? How do we keep the interest? So the way I start the song is with palm muting. So where you're going to be able to make something like this interesting is in the delivery of it and the dynamics therein. So that's my intro. So I don't do the F sharp, then I do the F sharp, then I don't. Very, very basic, folks. But it's nice. It's also good to play it fast because a song that has 4 chords over and over and over again, you want to get it over quickly because it's going to be boring. Play it fast. So we start singing in first verse. In verse 1. Well, I've been known to write more songs, but everything I've loved is gone. Well, everything I've loved is lost, but I'm too busy to count the cost. I don't go to the F sharp. I know I did that by accident just there for a second, but I don't go to the F sharp unless it's between verses is kind of how I do it. So that's our first verse. I've been known to write more songs when everything I've loved is gone. Well, everything I've loved is lost, but I'm too busy to count the cost. What does that mean? These are nice sounding lyrics, and they're setting the stage for, this is a lonely guy. He's by himself. We also put in there the element of music, making music. Not always something that we like. I've taken that out of songs because I go, that's my experience, but that's like, it is a question of being relatable. If every song was about singing and writing songs, the songs wouldn't be that interesting. I got to tell you. So we've kind of got this guy in despair. He's writing a song, so we know that everything he's loved is lost. But I'm too busy to count the cost. I don't think that's true, because life is floating past my window and I've got no choice but to get on board. We fly through guitars and over pianos and I've got no choice but to strike a chord. I like the picture of getting on board of whatever life is. I actually kind of think of him as flying, being on a guitar. We fly through guitars and over pianos. You kind of get a picture of, hey, look, maybe music is even elevating him and setting him free and helping him through this sad time. That is what I kind of described. I'm analyzing my own thing. This song was not written. This was a very organically written song. It wasn't written in a way that I was like, oh, this will mean this. This will make sense. This is a great metaphor. But thinking about it, it does work. That's all you can ask for of a song. And then there's the impact moment where I hit the chord. I say, I have no choice but to strike a chord, and I hit it. This song is kind of meta. It's already going, I only am writing this because I've lost everything. But I'm too busy to count the costs. I'm going to go jump into life and fly through guitars and over pianos. And I'm going to get into it. I've got no choice but to strike a chord. And that's when I open things up and start strumming it, openly. And I sing it in a higher register. That I've got no choice but to strike a chord. I can see her staring out her window. I can see her as I go. Perfect in face and perfect in body. I don't know why you're alone, but can I take you home? I don't know why you're alone, but can I take you home? So that's the chorus. So I've been known to write more. And I can see her staring out her window. We're just singing it higher. That's the whole trick of this particular chorus. I can see her as I go. So she's also in the similar place that I was. I can see life is floating past my window. I've got no choice but to get on board. I can see her staring out her window. I can see her as I go, perfect in face and perfect in body. I don't know why, it's a weird way to say that. But if Ed Sheeran is going to say, I love the shape of you, that's also a stupid line. So if you say, I'm in love with the shape of you, I'm in love with the shape of you. Would anyone ever say that? That's so dumb. So I can say perfect in face, because that's also stupid. Perfect in face and perfect in body. So now we've got the journey of he's met someone new. She also had her heart broken. I've asked her if I can take her home, and it worked out because she did come to my home. So then verse 2 goes, I've been afraid of all those things that I wanted. I'm so afraid of all these things that I want. Why am I afraid of all these things that I'm wanting? Why do I want all that I'm afraid of? I really love that stanza. I've been afraid of all these things that I've wanted. I'm so afraid of all these things that I want. Why am I afraid of all these things that I'm wanting? All of that is kind of saying the same thing in different tenses. I've been afraid of the things that I wanted. I'm currently afraid of all these things that I want. Why am I afraid of all these things that I'm wanting? And then I flip the script. Why do I want all that I'm afraid of? So which way does this work? Am I afraid of all the things that I'm wanting? Or do I want everything that I'm afraid of? Like, how does that work? But this is part of the song is called Kicking and Screaming. The idea of the song, which you will see, is that when I meet someone new or start in on a relationship or something like that, I have at times, done that in a kicking, like gone like, I don't know about you. I'm uncomfortable with this. I don't know about you. I don't know if anyone relates to that, but that's kind of the spirit of the song. And I think especially after you get your heart broken, you're like, so the second part of verse 2, I'm starting to think that you're scary and awful. I'm wondering why I ever wanted you here, but I'm not convinced that I want you to leave me. All I can say is these feelings are weird. So that's kind of like the song is fun. Lyrically, the song is fun. The idea of it is real and not fun, and there's a real emotion to it. But the way I'm presenting it is fun. I'm starting to think that you're scary and awful. I think I've had those feelings. I'm starting to think that you're scary. I'm wondering why I ever wanted you here. That's awkward. I wouldn't write that like that today. I'm wondering why I ever wanted you here. It's hard to sing that. I'm wondering why I ever wanted you here. That gets lost. So when you're writing, don't make the same mistake I did, which is like you don't want to put really S ending words with S beginning words, because that can the stress sits on my shoulders. Like it's going to be difficult. Who would ever say the stress sits on my shoulders anyway? But still, you know what I'm saying. Why I is just I'm wondering why I ever wanted you here, but I'm not convinced that I want you to leave me. Still kind of into all I can say is these feelings are weird. And then I go, but I can see all her lovely dimples, and I love the way she sounds on the phone. Perfect in voice and perfect in body. I don't know why you're alone, but can I take you home? I can see all her lovely dimples. So this is, I don't know about you, but you're getting hung up on her lovely dimples, and I love the way she sounds on the phone, her beautiful voice. Again, perfect in voice, perfect in body. I don't know why you're alone, but can I take you home? So I can't let go of her. She's still so cute. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Dynamics. That is as close to a bridge as this song gets. You just want to have that, there's a stop, there's a change, there's something to give you a separate moment. And then we go into verse 3. And I get philosophical with it. Well, maybe these things don't have any meaning. Maybe my thoughts are greater than here. But I'd like to think that these things could get dangerous, and I'd like to think that there's something to fear. I really like these lyrics because they're all doing something, like the song is progressing. So if you're going to play the same 4 chords, you still have to stay within the reasonable syllables of what you can do in a thing. And you still want there to be a flow, but you want to change that up. And then there's so many words here that it's comical almost. But I'd like to think that these things could get dangerous, and I'd like to think that there's something to fear. Like, that is fun. And it's not something that I've done prior in this song. It's 4 chords. What am I going to do to keep this thing interesting? Well, let's just adjust how I'm delivering things and do it differently in each line. But it's still the same melody. Like, it's still within the same world. Maybe love doesn't matter. Like, maybe I'm feeling all these things, but maybe none of it matters. So maybe my thoughts are greater. Maybe my thoughts and my emotions are bigger than what's actually real. But then I go on to say, but I'd like to think that these things could get dangerous, and I'd like to think that there's something to fear. We're digging into, why am I feeling this way? And is it the right thing to feel? Should I be feeling this way? Because I can't just bury myself in you madly. I can't just turn all my thoughts onto you. It's just that these things have often gone badly. I go in kicking and screaming in doubt and confused. Now that's a mouthful. But I can't just bury myself in you madly. I can't just turn all my thoughts onto you. It's just that these things have often gone badly. I go in kicking and screaming, in doubt and confused. It's a lot to fit in there. But it's almost, again, in a fun, comical way. But what a nice, but this is one of those songs, I'm sure I wrote it organically. I'm sure I wrote it feeling my way through it, not sitting down saying, this needs to happen. It was more of an exploration of what is true in my life. I have had that experience of really feeling like I'm kicking and screaming. I don't know about this. And so to explore that in a song is a privilege that songwriters have. We can do that. So to have a broken heart, to meet someone, to be like, oh, I don't know about this. And then to go, what is this emotion? Like, why do I feel this way? And to say, no, I want to feel this way, actually. I want to feel that it's as important as this. So I do go in kicking and screaming because it's reasonable. It's a reasonable reaction to love or the potential of love. And then I go into the chorus again. There she is, begging my pardon. There she is, asking to be excused. Perfectly polite and perfect in body. I don't know why you're alone, but can I stay with you? I don't know why you're alone, but can I stay with you? I don't know why you're alone, but can I stay with you? I don't know why you're alone, but can I stay with you? I don't know why you're alone, but can I stay with you? I don't love that last chorus. But I think what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to say, is that there she is, begging my pardon. She's polite and kind. There she is, asking to be excused. It's like, first of all, the syllables that I use, like asking to be excused, like you say it differently than you sing it. I don't like that. Perfectly polite. Like that. It's wrong. That's wrong for me. I don't like it. I'm playing it for you, but I don't like it. But it's been recorded. It's on Spotify. So, pretty sure it's on Spotify. It's on YouTube. But the point is that I can't change it now. It is what it is. But perfectly polite, and perfect in body. I think it's more about kindness and sweetness and caring about how you feel. And this is what this character, this girl in this song is doing for me. So I think that chorus could have been better. But that's the idea of it. And then to change it to, I don't know why you're alone, but can I stay with you? Instead of take you home. I don't know why you're alone, but can I stay with you? I don't know why. And just repeating that to drive it home. It's not that I just want her in my home now. I don't want to just take her home. I want to stay with her. And then one little subtle thing. I don't know why you're alone, but can I stay with you? It's just a nice way to end it. But that's a 3-4 chord rock and roll or folky song, which the value or the interest in that song for me is in those lyrics and some of those lyrical ideas. Musically, it doesn't do anything too crazy. But I think I will sort of touch on this idea really quickly. And if there's other songwriters that have been watching this, we can talk about this in the comments too. And it's the idea of writing the lyrics first or the music first. I typically do not write lyrics first. And if I do, I very seriously edit them into music that I've chosen. I do not try to make the music work with the lyrics. I always make the lyrics work with the music. And and in this case, why I'm bringing it up here is that I have a very defined riff or chord progression. And what I had to do in this song is just augment the lyrics ever so slightly to be new and exciting or interesting within this framework. This is an older song, but I wasn't a beginner when I wrote it where those were the only chords I knew. It was a purposeful thing where I was like, this is it. So let's write what we're feeling and what we're thinking about within these chords. But I still, if I had written the lyrics first and was like, let's put them in here, and that's why all these lyrics sit differently, because I didn't write them to any sort of musical meter or anything like that. I just wrote them from the heart, and they rhymed, and I was like, I can't change these. I'm just going to shove them into this chord progression and see if it works. That would not come out as nicely. Weigh in on this in the comments. Do you write your lyrics first? Do you find it hard to fit them into music? Do you edit them like crazy to get them into whatever music that you're working on or whatever you've chosen for the track? How do you do it? Because I can't bring myself to writing something lyrically and then shoehorning it into a musical idea, even if it doesn't seem to be working. But anyway, so that's Kicking and Screaming. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoy this sort of rambling and sharing of songs, hey, subscribe. Like the thing, comment on it, tell me how great I am. And let's talk about songwriting. See you next week.